Thank you, Mr.
Okay, our next member on our committee that will be recognized, the former chair of our committee, now in the minority, Mr. Barton from Texas. 5 minutes.
Thank you for reminding me that I'm now in the minority.
I thought I was being polite.
Well, no, you were. Mr. Dingle and I are playing hopscotch as we go before the 3 subcommittees today that are in operation. So I got to refocus from the FDA and SCHIP to PEG. Let me start with you, Mr. Cohen. Next year, in March of 2009, the whole country is going to go digital in terms of television broadcast. Isn't that correct?
Actually, I think it's February, but close enough.
Okay.
Close enough for government work, as they say.
Mr. Dingle and I are the 2 people that came up with the date.
That's right.
You'd think I would remember the exact date. I know it's after the Super Bowl.
That's right. That's right. I remember those discussions.
Yeah. So, in advance of that, my understanding is in Michigan, I don't know if it was the entire state or just the city of Dearborn that Mr. O'Reilly is the mayor of, Comcast decided to take its public education and governmental channels, or its PEG channels, off of analog and put them into the digital format. Is that correct?
Let's say the answer is yes, but I want to just make a real fine point here, which is there are 2 different ways you can deliver a channel in digital format. One is to migrate it to a digital tier, which means that you would charge a customer more money to get that service level. The second is you can simply digitize the channel, but leave it as part of the basic tier. And it is the second option that we unveiled in Michigan. That is, we did not move it to a different tier of service. We proposed to change. We proposed in a maybe more ham-handed way than we would like to change the method of delivery while leaving it as a part of the same tier.
Okay. Now, when you did that, how many customers would be affected by that proposed change?
Okay, very good question. We have about 1.3 million customers in the state of Michigan. Let's say all but about 60% of them are already digital customers, so they would have zero impact from this. About 450 customers, 400,000 to 450,000 customers are not currently digital customers. That is the group of customers that would have been affected by this change. Those customers fall into 2 groups. One is our really limited basic customers, the lowest tier, spending $12 to $15 a month for basic broadcast channels, PEG, etc. And for that group of people, the best option probably would have been the option that we made available, which is that we would provide them with a free set-top box. They could continue paying $12 to $15 a month. We would give them a free set-top box for a year. And after that, we would have charged them something up to $4.20 a month. No decision was made as to whether that's the amount we would have charged.
When you announced this proposed change to the customer base, not the governmental base, which is important, I understand, but at the pure retail customer level, how many complaints did you get about this proposed change?
Relatively, I mean, we certainly heard some pushback, relatively little consternation from the pure customer base.
But now, Mayor, is it your city that filed the lawsuit?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Now, I would assume that you're, in addition to being the mayor, you're also a customer.
Yes, I am.
Could be if you wanted to be. You may be a satellite.
I have lots of choices, but I've chosen Comcast up to this point.
Okay. I used it up until this. All right. So, did the city of Dearborn decide to go to court based on voter complaints to you and the other councilmen and women, or just based on your personal?
Based on complaints that arose from the community in several different sectors. We have a very robust local programming. As the programmers, as the entities themselves became aware, they and their followers, supporters, contacted us about it.
Okay, now what was their principal beef to?
Well, it was the idea that they had to get a converter box to get it. Okay, when many of them were basic here, and as Mr. Cohen just pointed out, I want to make this clear. The two major tiers that were impacted are those who are getting just must-carry, some ESPN, I think, and PEG. Okay, so it's very basic. It was $12 a month for that tier. The next tier that was really impacted that he mentioned was the tier that was channels 1 through 99 in our system, which meant it covered a lot of product, but it was non-digital. It was analog, but it was the most programming you get on analog.
But the big complaint is that while they got one set-top box for free, they didn't get three set-top boxes.
It's not really for, no, it's also not for free. They announced, this is clear, January 15th was a trigger date for them to switch it to digital. And the notice came out in January that in February, the price of those two tiers went up by about $3 per, which basically covered the cost of the box. So you can call it a free box, but you can also say that both of those customers saw an increase of $3. A customer tier in between those two saw 1 penny. It went from $31.49 to $31.50.
So they're complaining that they're getting rope-a-doped.
Right, exactly. They're saying we're being told we're getting a free box, but our costs are going up $3. And it's happening coincidental with the change. So,
but if we could get this problem worked out this year, it would go away next year, wouldn't it?
Next year they'd have to pay for the box, for all the boxes.
Next year the whole country goes digital.
Well, but they could get a box through the coupon program, or they'd have to get a box through here. But if they got the box through here, it'd be $4.20 a box. So they'd have that incurred cost for the same product they've been getting now. Our thing is we have a contract. Our contract is enforceable. It requires mutual agreement on this. So that's our position.
Well, this is fascinating.
Okay, we're a little over, but
I haven't even got started yet, but my time has already expired. But let me, Madam Chairwoman, let me ask, is this a solvable problem at the local level? Or does it take the full weight and power of the Congress to fix this problem?
I think the answer is this is a solvable problem at the local level. Mr. Chairman, you were not here for my testimony, but this, as you know, this isn't the way we like to do business. And I said, we tried. We weren't quite a total bull in a china shop here. We tried. In retrospect, we're not happy with our performance. I apologized in my testimony, and we're in friendly negotiations now with the cities in Michigan, including Mayor O'Reilly, and I'm highly confident that there will be an agreement.
All will soon be forgiven.
Does it happen to be that Dearborn is represented by John Dingell?
It helps.
It does help.
But let me say, Congressman, on your answer, the fact is that without regard to Comcast, I think that this committee needs to look at what the states are doing. Michigan recently passed PA 480. The district court, the Eastern District, did a great job of analyzing this, and they believe that portions of that are preempted federally by the Cable Act. I think that warrants examination on its own.
Well, anything Chairman Dingell wants to look at warrants examination. Just like when I was chairman, anything I wanted to look at.
That's correct.
So I understand the chairman.
So now the chair will move on to our